What up, y'all? Welcome back to the Pick and Roll Podcast. I'm your host, Jonathan Fredline.
And I'm Alan J. Pandon. And in this episode, we got some playoff recap, and then we got a discussion of two young budding stars.
Ooh.
So,
Sounds good.
Yeah.
But first, didn't we make a bet on last episode? I don't recall.
We did.
What was it again?
It was who would win the Clippers series, the Clippers or the Jazz. You bet the Jazz, I bet the Clippers, and
I'm nothing but a man of my word. Crisp $5 bill. And
as promised,
sparkling water.
it's a different flavor, but it's still
Orange
fun.
Mango. Apparently it's the best one. I don't know.
Yeah, in my opinion, it's the best one.
All right, whatever.
But
All right, so it's my turn to ask the question, right?
it is.
My question's nice, too.
Okay, we'll
It
see.
is nice.
We'll see.
All right, ready?
We'll see.
So there's 4 answers, and you have to get all 4
Okay.
right to get the whole question right. So
Okay.
what do you get? Are you two for 2 or something? I don't know.
Yeah, like I
2
think
for
it's
2.
2 for 2. Yeah.
All right, ready? Let me look it up. Okay, right. Of the 30 NBA teams
Okay.
in the league,
Mm-hmm.
there's 4 team names that don't end with the letter S. It's like Cavaliers,
Okay.
Lakers.
Okay.
What are those 4 teams?
Utah Jazz.
Okay. Good one. He's lost. He has no idea. Wait, I gotta remember the answers. Yeah, I got him. There's
Don't end in the letter S.
don't end in the letter S. So you saw Utah Jazz.
Dude, what?
Yeah. And this is easier than the question you asked me last time.
Yeah. Thunder. OKC Thunder.
I was gonna point to it. There we go.
Okay, that's two.
The other 2 are in the Eastern Conference.
Eastern Conference.
There's 2 in the
Okay.
East, 2 in the West.
Okay. I'm trying to think of the divisions.
All right, ready? I'm gonna start doing another hint. I'm gonna start naming like role players
Okay.
on those teams. All right, I gotta think.
It's hard to like think of all the teams on the spot. Orlando Magic.
Oh, there we go. I was gonna say Mo Bamba
Miami
in
Heat.
Miami Heat.
Yeah.
Dang it! I really thought that was.
You should. Next time we should put like a time limit on it.
I was
Just
gonna say,
because like
Yeah, you had all the time in the world.
yeah,
to
I
think
could
about that
have thought of that the entire episode
you
if I wanted to.
could've.
So
one.
next time we should put
Alright,
a time. But
live
I
and
got it
learn.
right still. So
Let's mark in half. In half.
that's 3/4. You gave me one. 1 point.
I did give you one. I forgot about that.
3/4. So 70
So you're 2 3/4
out of 3.
out of 3.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Fair.
All right. So what's the next segment?
We're gonna talk about the playoffs.
Oh, right. We're in the Final 4, baby.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Clippers series. The Clippers and the Phoenix Suns. You want to go first?
And, okay. At this point in the recording, like in time, the Suns are up 2-1.
Yes.
Clippers just won.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying. I know the Clippers. I know I said the Clippers are going to lose every single series so far up to this point, but I still don't believe in them. They still don't have Kawhi Leonard, and they're facing the strongest team they faced yet. So,
this is true. Yeah. Ooh, wait, who is better, the Utah Jazz or the Phoenix Suns?
Okay, tied for best. Whatever.
Fair.
I'm gonna be generous and say Suns in 6. That's being generous.
Generous. Oh my goodness.
I could say Suns in 5,
You could say that
but I'm not going to.
because you're not that dumb.
I'm not that dumb.
Okay. I got Clippers in 7.
You want to bet another $5 on it?
Hey, I already got this 5.
You want to bet another $5 on it?
Another $5 and another soda.
Are you for real? This is happening right now?
This is happening right now. Another $5.
But what if the Suns win in like 7? Do I still get the $5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just whoever wins the series when it gets 5.
screenshot this image right here.
Screenshot this.
Screenshot
Brennan Dar, you got this right here.
Brennan Dar. Yeah, shout out to one of our listeners, Brennan Dar. Screenshot
Yes,
the last one.
Yes, sir. Why do you think the Suns are gonna win the series? What's your base reasoning?
I mean, just off the top of my head, they don't have Kawhi Leonard, but I can't say much about that because they didn't have him last time
in the Jazz series. That's
true. I think so. I'll give Chris Paul credit for not playing to his full potential last game because he's been quarantined. Like, can't really do much when you're quarantined. So I knew obviously he wasn't gonna be at full potential. Big deal. But he's the point guard. Come on now. You can't disrespect him like that. I think he's hungry for his first finals appearance because he's never. Has he ever? I was talking to my brother last night. Has he ever been to a conference finals?
With the Rockets, yeah.
With the Rockets, I forgot about that because I know for a fact he never made it with the Lakers.
No, the Clippers.
What'd I say?
You said the Lakers.
Okay, same thing.
That's
and I know for a fact he didn't make it with the Hornets.
Yeah.
All right, so Chris Paul's been here before. Devin Booker is playing. All right, aside from last game, he's been playing incredibly well throughout these playoffs. Last game was definitely one of his worst games of the playoffs. I think people like Jay Crowder might step up. DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah, that game winner was crazy.
That was nice. Yeah. I fell asleep though. I didn't see it live.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I was like, while I was watching it live, and I was like, no way they get anything. And it's like the only way they get it is an inbound lob, and it happened. I'm like, oh my goodness, of course.
How much time? It was like 0.9 seconds.
There's 0.9 seconds left.
That's plenty of time.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. Reggie Jackson for the Los Angeles Clippers is playing out of his mind right now.
Yeah,
he's really stepping up right now with the absence of Kawhi, and he's a bucket right now. So, still got Suns winning though.
Yeah, I got the Clippers winning, just because of a man named Terrence Mann.
That was
a terrible joke.
No, that was not.
That was a really
funny.
bad joke. But
0 out of 10. No, I'd give it a 2 out of 10.
Okay, well,
I did a fake chuckle. So I'll give you 2 out of 10.
All right. But Terrence Mann, he was instrumental in the Jazz series, especially closing them out in Game 6 with 39 points that game. And he was the biggest factor last night in the win against the Suns. His 10 third-quarter points would definitely help their momentum, the Clippers' momentum. And they carried it throughout the fourth. Like you said, Reggie Jackson hitting big-time threes. Paul George didn't shoot the ball particularly well, but he still made plays on the defensive end. He had 14 rebounds. Yeah. I think out-rebounded DeAndre Ayton or something like that. Him and Zubac combined for over 20 minutes.
Zubac played pretty well last night, too.
Yeah. Do you know what's up with Serge Ibaka? You remember
he's out.
He's
not playing.
He's been injured. Yeah, that's what I was thinking because like.
Are you asking me or do you know?
I was assuming he was injured or something because if he wasn't injured he'd be very instrumental this year because
he's kind of old though.
I mean, but he can spread the floor. He's a smart defender. He's not like fat. He's not as athletic as he was in OKC, but
and he's been there before. He has that veteran.
Yeah, exactly.
That really not a lot of people on that team have.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I think the Clippers I think they might lose Game 4, but they're gonna come back down 3-1.
Do you want another $5 on that?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so.
Okay.
There's no way.
I'm not sure.
No way.
This is probably the toughest series they're gonna face if they make the finals. I think the Suns are better than whoever makes the finals, even better than the Bucks.
That's
Because
I can see that.
because the Bucks are really streaky, so if they're off, they're really off. And then Giannis is their only offense, and he can be contained somewhat. So
that's a nice segue to the other side of the bracket.
Yeah. So
Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks versus the Milwaukee Bucks.
At this point in time, it is 1-0 Atlanta.
Atlanta is Game 2 tonight.
Yeah, Game 2 is tonight.
Yeah.
I'll start off, I guess. Trae Young is an incredible player. He scored 48 last night. Last game, and his high pick and roll with John Collins or Clint Capella is like almost unguardable.
Yeah, that's a fun little phrase, pick and roll.
Yeah. Well,
continue.
Okay.
Are you done?
No. I'm just saying. The Bucks I think what the Bucks need to do is bench Brook Lopez. He's just. I think their lineup should be Drew Holiday at the 1.
Middleton at the 2
Chris
or at the 3.
Chris Middleton at the 2 or 3. Giannis at the 5. PJ Tucker at the 4, and either Dante DiVincenzo or Pat Connaughton at the 2.
Haven't they been starting Pat Connaughton?
Yeah. I think they just need to.
No, they've been starting him at 2, right?
Yeah, at the 2.
Then Chris at the 3.
Yeah, and then I think they need to bench Brook and put Giannis at the 5 to be able to contain that pick and roll, that deadly pick and roll Trae Young and John Collins have.
So what do you got in the series?
Oh, I'm sorry. I got Bucks in 5.
Oh.
I think they're gonna win 4 straight.
I'm gonna say, I don't know, this Hawks team. It's funny, they've been kind of like the villains of this whole playoffs. Like I feel like just like not a lot of people are cheering for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But they've really embraced that role. They've bought into it,
especially Trae Young. Yeah.
Especially Trae Young.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Bucks in 6.
Okay.
I think the Hawks will put up a good fight.
Yeah, every game I think is gonna be competitive.
I think they'll win 1 and in Atlanta.
Okay, I can see that. I can see that. Yeah.
So Bucks in 6 though, because I just think the Bucks are the better team talent wise. But okay. The Bucks need Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton to step up.
For sure.
They can't really afford them to have another off game.
Mm-hmm.
Like have Drew Holiday have 6 points. Chris Middleton have 10 points,
Yeah. And Giannis has been incredible. And you can see that, like, this is the difference between him and, like, a player like Ben Simmons. You can see him, like, actually trying to get better at his free throws.
Yeah.
He's not shying away from contact as much. He's like, trying to fix his form in between games. So you can see him trying to get better and trying to still be aggressive. And that's what Ben Simmons needs. Ben Simmons just doesn't work on his game.
Oh, boy. Ben Simmons.
All right. Let's talking about Trae Young. We're gonna discuss his stardom.
Ooh, we've done this once before on this show, haven't we?
I think so.
With what player?
Not sure.
It was Donovan Mitchell, right?
Donovan Mitchell.
It was Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
Who do you think's better?
Trae Young or Donovan Mitchell?
Right now. Well, no, like as a better player.
As a better player, I think it's Donovan Mitchell.
I think I might agree with you too.
Yeah. I mean, Trae Young, he's a great shooter, like a really, really good shooter.
People compare him
to Steph.
Exactly. People love comparing other people, and they see Trae Young as the next Steph Curry.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he'll be a better shooter than Steph Curry, but I think once Steph Curry retires, he'll be, that guy. That one guy who can create a shot, hit deep threes. Yeah, I can definitely see that. But is he a superstar? How old is he? I feel like
I think he's 22. I think it's the same age.
I just feel like this is a little premature. Like he's not. Like I think head to head with someone like Luca Doncic. Luca Doncic is better.
Yeah.
And I think Luca Doncic. I think we've said this before. We said Luca Doncic is the only definite superstar under the age of 24.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. I think it's a little premature saying Trae Young is a
superstar
right now.
Yeah.
All-Star, yes. Did he make the All-Star team this year?
Not that he got.
He got snubbed.
He's not snubbed this year. Yeah. But
him and Jason Tatum, right?
No, Tatum. Tatum was a starter. Tatum was a starter.
I'm an idiot.
For
no,
KD.
but Jason Tatum didn't make an All-NBA team.
He didn't make an All-NBA team. That's right.
Would you look at that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Crazy times we're living in.
Yeah. I'm gonna go back to, you remember what Coach Curry said about Jamal Murray in the playoffs? So last year, Jamal Murray in the bubble, he had like a couple 50-point games. He had some big performances against the Clippers, the Lakers, the Jazz. And where was he this season? This season he was really bad. So
and then he got injured.
Yeah, and then he got injured,
which doesn't help his case.
Yeah, so it's like anybody can get hot. Anybody can get hot during the playoffs.
Yeah,
like
I think what's his name? T.J. Warren.
Yeah, exactly.
T.J. Warren.
Bubble T.J. Warren was the greatest player of all time.
Of all time.
Yeah, but he's better than MJ in the bubble.
Right.
So
right.
It's like, I don't know. Anybody can get hot during the playoffs, and anybody can score 50 in the playoffs.
They can get hot at any given time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not saying that Trae Young's not a star. He's definitely a star.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think he's at that superstar status.
I don't think he's there yet either. And I'm not a Trae Young hater per se, but I'm not a huge fan of him. Yeah, because he's developed, that one move that the league is changing right now, changing rules where he comes off that high screen and then like bumps into his defender and just throws up a. It's not even a shot, but it's technically a shot. But like he just throws up the ball near the hoop, so he gets 2 free throws.
Yeah, I'm glad they're changing the rule.
Exactly, because people are saying like that he's ruining basketball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is he ruining basketball? I don't know. Like you can consider it a strategy, but it's not basketball.
Yeah, it's just him and James Harden, and Luca actually.
Luca does that too.
So
Luca kind of like.
Yeah.
What is he like hooks?
He like hooks. Everybody does their own thing.
That's what James Harden does.
Yeah, so it's like that. I think that they're really crafty at that, but at the same time, it's not entertaining to watch.
It's not basketball.
Yeah.
Like,
So.
who wants to watch Trae Young score 20 points off free throws alone?
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And
are we both in agreement?
Yeah.
Superstar.
Trae Young is not a superstar
No.
yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was watching Game 1, and Reggie Miller was commentating, and Trae Young was at the free throw line, and this is like his 47th and 48th point,
Okay.
and at the end of the game,
Yeah.
so it's obvious that he's had a big game.
Mm-hmm.
And Reggie Miller goes, it's time to put super in front of his name, and I was sitting there like, no,
Yeah. No.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I do not agree with that. That's kind of recency bias right there. As right
Yeah.
now, sure you can be a superstar, but in the end, no.
Yeah, and that's a good segue because we're gonna talk about
See what I did there?
another star, a playoff star who's been playing well, Devin Booker. We're gonna talk about recency bias in general,
Just the idea of recency bias.
Yes, and then we're gonna give a good comparison.
Mm-hmm. We got multiple.
Okay,
Mhm.
yeah.
So you want to start off with Devin Booker?
Yeah. Before we start off with that, what we consider recency bias.
Oh yeah, define that term.
Yeah, what we consider recency bias is like when you base an opinion based off recent events, not off the entire history or in an NBA player's career instance, just like based on their entire career. You base your opinion off just a few recent events that occurred. In this case, the playoffs.
And yeah, but in theory, it could be like in the middle of the regular season too,
Yeah, that's true.
In this case, it's the playoffs.
Yeah.
So you want to start off with Devin Booker?
So yeah, on social media, there have been polls on people's story, and they've been polling who's better, Devin Booker or James Harden. And in one poll,
let's just think about that real quick. Devin Booker or James Harden? Let's think about that.
I don't know how that's actually a conversation.
Yeah, how is that a question? James Harden is one of the greatest offensive players of all time.
Yeah.
Not reigning MVP, sorry. Former MVP.
Yeah. I don't know.
No disrespect to Devin Booker. I love the guy, but
he's not on James Harden. James Harden averaged 35 one season. He averaged 35. And I don't know. Devin Booker dropped 70 one time, but
Devin Booker has 3 good playoff series. Are you automatically good than James Harden? Because coincidentally, James Harden has a hamstring tear and doesn't play well in his series.
And
come on now.
I mean, a lot of people would blame James Harden's lack of playoff success like as a contributing factor to why he's like a bad playoff performer. But if I saw a stat that he averaged more points than D Wade and Kobe in closeout playoff games throughout his career.
Yeah. Oh.
So that's like,
I was not aware of that statistic.
Yeah, he averaged like over 28 points a game, or 27. Sorry, so he averaged like 27 points a game in closeout playoff games, and that's more than Kobe or D Wade.
Oh.
Which is saying something. It's not like it's not like he chokes. He sometimes chokes, like in that one series where against the Warriors where they missed like 27 threes in a row or something like that. That was a choking moment, but it's not like he's a bad playoff performer. Yeah. So yeah, that's one outrageous example.
I think outrageous is the right word for that instance.
Yeah, that's one example. Of
another one we got is one that it's not outrageous. It's Luca Doncic or Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
And outrageous is kind of strong, so I'm not going to say that, but it's definitely Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
No thought.
When the playoff series was occurring, I was flip flopping between who is better, and then when Kawhi closed out that series with 45-point games and stuff, it became kind of clear. Even though Luca is a superstar and he is incredible, he's not. I don't think he's at Kawhi's level yet.
Yeah.
Kawhi's probably the best two-way player in the league. He can get a bucket at any moment.
Get a stop and guard the team's best player.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that's one example of maybe people saying that Luka's better than yada yada yada. I don't know. Even though he is incredible. So, and the final example is Paul George and Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
In recent years, we've had playoff the pandemic P, and he's been. I would say he has not performed in the playoffs most. I would say he's not performed in the playoffs especially in with the Clippers. Except this season, he's been performing well this season. But
last year in particular.
But I've seen polls and stories who they ask who would you rather have, Klay Thompson or Paul George, and it's overwhelmingly Klay Thompson.
Overwhelmingly.
It's I don't know. Klay Thompson, I'm not going to say he's just a shooter because he's not just a shooter. He's an actually underrated defender. Klay Thompson is a really good defender.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who's a better defender, him or PG.
Yeah.
I would say they're equal in that. But PG, he's a overall better scorer. He can score at the rim, and he's such a better playmaker.
This one I feel like is pretty close in my mind.
I don't think it's like Devin Booker, James Harden distance.
Outrageous, yeah.
Yeah, I think you can if depending on the team you would definitely take Klay Thompson in some situations.
If you're rebuilding a team, who are you taking?
Paul George, just because
10 out of 10 times.
Yes, because
I don't know.
Because first of all, we've never seen Klay Thompson lead a team on his own.
Okay.
And his play style is not like
Paul. Oh, okay. I was gonna say it's Paul George, but he took the Pacers.
The Pacers, exactly.
2 straight Eastern Conference.
Exactly, and his play style is kind of like he does everything.
I don't know, but who's more consistent though? Consistency.
I mean, okay, but you always Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
Klay Thompson is more consistent.
I thought you were disagreeing with me.
But you've seen him have go in streaks where he's shot 0 for 14 from 3 or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every player has those. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying.
I'm just saying that I'm not taking Paul George 10 out of 10 times.
You're not.
I'm not.
Okay, I agree with that.
I'm taking Paul George.
Again, it depends on the situation.
Okay, define that.
I would rather in the Golden State Warriors teams, right? I'd rather 1,000% rather have Klay Thompson than Paul George because you already have Steph Curry, who's a primary ball handler. You got Draymond Green, who's a facilitator, and if we're talking about 2017, you got KD, who's also a ball handler, and Klay is just the perfect
piece
because he doesn't want the ball in his hands. He can catch and shoot.
Let me think of a random NBA team right now.
Okay.
The Orlando Magic.
Paul George. Why? What does Klay Thompson? We've never.
Okay. I think that Klay Thompson is a good enough player. How many All-Star teams has he made? A good amount. He's shown that he is a star in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Is in the middle of his prime.
Yeah.
And you said that you never seen him lead a team. It's because he hasn't had a chance to lead the team. He got drafted by Golden State.
That's true.
When they already had Steph Curry.
That's true. But
I can see Klay Thompson leading a team to a 7 or 8 seed. Now.
I just don't think his play style is a team leading worthy.
Actually, I guess you're right because all he does is catch and shoot most of the time.
It's not that he just only catches. He can score in a multitude of ways. It's just that his playing with Steph Curry has helped him get so many open shots, and playing with other shooters has helped him get. And Draymond Green, who's such a good facilitator, and Paul George, he can get a bucket at any time he wants. You see in the playoffs, he gets to the hoop. He's a great dribbler. You can see he creates for his own teammates. He's such a good playmaker now. And Klay Thompson, he's never been that playmaker. He can pass the ball, but he's never been a playmaker, if you know what I mean. So if I'm taking Paul George to lead a team to the playoffs, I'm taking Klay Thompson, who's on a team who already has a star.
Oh, okay, so that's a different conversation. Like on the Clippers right now, because Kawhi Leonard is the LA Clippers' #1 option.
Yeah.
So you just said that you'd rather have Klay Thompson.
Yes. Right now, because Kawhi's injured, I'd rather have Paul George.
Okay, well, yeah.
But with Kawhi, I'd rather have Klay Thompson.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think the Clippers would be better?
I think they would be better.
If Klay Thompson was on the Clippers right now, would they make it to the
Well, actually, I don't know. The Clippers are an interesting case because Paul George often plays the point guard for them. Even with Kawhi on the floor, he often plays the point guard with them. And Klay can't do that. So I don't know about the Clippers. That's interesting. I don't know. It's hard to say because I'd rather, if you take let's say a random team like, I don't know, like Dallas, right, with Luca, you're not taking Paul George with Luca because there's two primary ball handlers. You're taking Klay Thompson. He's let's say Klay's a way better complementary player, and Paul George.
They just have they're two completely different players.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I respect it.
But do you think Klay Thompson overall is a better player than Paul George?
I'm thinking they're all the options. What do you think?
I don't think he is.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Paul George is the better all-around player. I feel like Klay Thompson hasn't had the chance to.
I agree with that.
Who knows? Maybe he could lead a team. You never know.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah.
Well, Paul George had an ideal situation in Indiana when the ball was in his hands 90% of the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Paul George is better. Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, I guess. I don't. And also Klay Thompson's been injured, so we can't
for literally 2 seasons.
Yeah, we literally can't we don't know how he's gonna.
Yeah.
So we can't I don't know.
Wasn't his last game in the 2019 NBA Finals?
Yeah. That's crazy. 2019 feels so long ago. That's crazy. Yeah. All right.
Is that it?
Yeah, that was episode 5.
Episode 5. Well, I guess I'll shout out the gram real quick. I feel like this has become a natural thing.
Mm-hmm.
At the Pick and Roll Podcast _ Don't forget the _. I looked it up once. There's another Instagram account that doesn't have an _.
Yeah.
So if you want to find us, your 2 favorite
podcasters,
sports what genre are we?
I don't know.
Sports podcast hosts.
Yeah.
Add the _.
Yes. All right. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.